on this road. You know we gotta let go. For all of the times that they said it's impossible, they built the hurdles, the walls, and the obstacles. While we're together, you know we're unstoppable now. I'm not afraid to tear it down and build it up again. It's not a phase. We're committed renegades. I'm here for you. We're here from each other. Let's start again. We're committed renegades.
Hey everybody, so I know it's been quite a minute since I've released any presentations, but I've just really been so busy. As a matter of fact, I'm a little bit tired right now. You could probably see it in my face, right up under my eye. I'm a little tired. I didn't get up until maybe about well, actually I didn't get to bed until like about 4 o'clock this morning, and then I got up at like around 9:30, 10, just putting some additional information together for these workshops that I've been doing to get you guys through your journeys and stuff, right? Okay, you know, so basically that's what's inspiring this presentation here, you know. So I've been asked a lot about how is it that I'm so motivated to do the different things that I do, because I do a lot of different things here, right? So here's something. So what is motivation? So motivation is really a concept. It's a concept that influences nearly every aspect of our lives, including our relationships, keeping with those relationships, keeping them going, you know, fitness, so our workouts, staying with that. And basically it's because it's actually fundamental to the very success of it all. So then I guess you would say, if it's fundamental to the success of it all, then why is it difficult at times to even stay motivated, or, you know, just to keep it up? And how do you even get motivated? And why would you even lose it if it's fundamental for the success of it all, right? Okay. Well, think about this, right? So at the beginning of the year, did you set a New Year's resolution for yourself? Okay. So I'm going to give you this word, and it originates from this Latin word called, well, it's motivation, and it originates from this Latin word called movere, and what it means to move. So basically, it induces a type of action, right? So it's like this, it's a force for our behavior, and it's something that can propel us forward. So it's inspiring us, right? So that resolution that you started at the beginning of the year, so within the past 25 days or so of actually being with it, you probably noticed that it began to like fizzle out, just crashing, right? Okay. So you might be thinking, okay, well, yeah, that did happen. And if you say, yes, that did happen, you're not alone, because that actually happened to a lot of people. It's pretty typical that it would actually happen. But why? And that will be a really good question. So what does it even take to even keep at it? Or what do you need to be paying attention to? So when you need to know how to make the shift in other ways to stay motivated, right? Okay. So dopamines is what scientists are associating motivation with. So those are the neurotransmitters that control our sense of pleasure as well as reward. So basically, accomplishing things generally tends to make you feel good, and that also tends to encourage us to do a bit more with it, right? And so there are two types of motivation, psychologists are saying. So one is extrinsic, and then the other is intrinsic, okay? There's a lot of information in regards to this. There's really three, but I'm just going with two. So with extrinsic motivation, that's where I want to start. So that's the thing that comes from an external force. So that's something that's not in here, it's outside. So you can think about like money, how money is a really, really great motivator, right? So if you consider how money was being used to get people to go in and get the jab, it was used because it's a really big motivator for a lot of people to do something, right? To get to the end result of something, right? Or maybe it's it's to get like physical reward, some sort of recognition or something like that, you know. And then there is the intrinsic, right? So the intrinsic, that's where I fall up under. So intrinsic, that originates from the inside of us, and it's influenced by our values and our desires. So that's something that's actually integrated into the identity, and it correlates with our actual purpose, right? So what you need to know what your purpose is, right? Excuse me. And then so now both of these type of motivations can be something to actually push you through and can be affirming. It's just the extrinsic motivation is actually quite fleeting because it's not something that actually derived from within you. It's something that came from outside of you to get you to the end of something, right? Maybe it was to impress somebody, or maybe it was to gain some sort of prestige, or just to get something done, just to get somebody off your back, right? Okay, that would be a really good extrinsic motivation, getting that monkey off your back. Okay, I'm just gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it because they're gonna give me this. Okay, right? So it didn't originate from within, inside of you. But intrinsic motivation is that thing that comes from inside of you. So like with me, intrinsic motivation is because I love being creative, right? I love being creative, and I love seeing the end result of my creation, right? So it's the result, and then it's also being curious to whatever it is. So for you, maybe it could be running because you just love to run or something like that, or maybe it could be solving problems or something, right? Because you like both the questions as well as the answers, right? So intrinsic can be very powerful. It would be very long lasting, and it's more meaningful for us because it stems from something that says who we are, and it also drives us to follow whatever it is our passion is. So it comes from something that's deep inside of us, like our desires. So now understanding who we are and what matters is key in the process of actually knowing what motivates each of us, because each person has their own story. We have our own personality traits, and different ways of actually being motivated. So really there's no wrong or right way to be motivated. You just need to know what your values are, what are your feelings behind this thing that you're doing, and what is your ultimate goal, right? Because the goal is what you're going after, right? So it's that end result, right? So motivation, movier, to move. This is something that actually begins with us. So, and this is just about us and what it is that we actually want. So motivation, that is that I guess stimuli that guides nearly every choice that we even make. And so when we begin to take the slightest action, that's when you start to make the shift and start taking things to new levels, right? So now when you get out of bed and turn off that TV and go do your workout or something, you really just made a small decision. And this small decision, this is motivation. So your motivation is actually started. And this is where you want to go with it all. So when you start to see that this good habit has actually started to take shape, and then the value that it makes, that the value of it, and so that's the thing that's actually going to make you desire to see the results, and then your confidence is going to start coming into play, and then so that's what would ultimately get you to stick with it, because that's actually motivation. All right, so it's about getting results, right? So here are the takeaways that I want to leave you with. So one, you need to build a schedule that actually works, and then you need to just begin it. right? So you got to get up and you got to move. All right, so you got to do something to actually change your energy. You got to mover, you got to actually move. All right, so this one really works for me, okay? So then you have number 2, where you have to actually spend some time understanding the intrinsic for you, you know, the actual why. So for example, if you wanted to tone your core, you need to actually take some time knowing the how and the why to actually get there to doing that. So, and if you wanted to learn how to strengthen your pelvic floor and do your sacral toning, as I have inside of my holistic health guides, in particular in volume 1. So this one here is volume 1. This is your 3 chapter. So this is a 21-day fast. So you have various exercises. You have the weekly exercise, which has the worksheets that you use. The worksheet for like every week. Every chapter is what I should say. Every chapter, this worksheet goes along with that. And again, there's 3 chapters inside of that. And then you move forward only after you see or you feel that you can move forward, because you may still need to move back again and continue doing everything over and over until you feel that you can actually move forward. Moving forward would be getting you here, okay? This one is volume 2, right? And volume 2 has 4 chapters, and those worksheets again goes with this as well, goes with every chapter. All right, so this one is your 28-day fast and exercises. So both of these guys, they actually go together. So it's really a 7-week for a 49-day fast and workout and exercise, right? All right, and so when you get your guides, I'm now including the worksheets along with it, because some of the excuses that I've been hearing in regards to why you haven't been starting immediately and it's been taking you a minute is because I don't have a printer to print out stuff. I don't have paper. I don't have ink. I can't get over to the print shop, you know, so it's different excuses like that, regardless of how true it is, right? Okay, so I'm including the workshops along with your books. Whichever book that you get, I'm going to be including the worksheets along with that, right? And each of the chapters, they have specific information and specific meditations that you'll actually be doing, and specific exercises that you'll be doing. So, and specific herbs and different foods, right? All right, so like for chapter 2, that is your sacred sacral. That is your womb, and the color, that's orange, right? And I want to just mention some herbs and spices that's inside of that. So like one of them is you have your red raspberry, and I made video on this a couple of years ago. So you just go and check that out and you'll see. So red raspberry, you have your red clover, you have your chasteberry, there is also ashwagandha, there's basil, yes, and as I said, ashwagandha. There's also annatto, and I use annatto in several different recipes as well. But that ashwagandha is something I would really recommend that you look into it, okay? Don't stay away from this stuff just because you're following some other specific type of food regimen, okay? You might want to look into this because ashwagandha actually works, okay? Ashwagandha works to relieve stress. And when you're dealing with something like fibroids, your body is constantly under stress with this, okay? That stress is not just gonna be you having this issue down here in your womb area, in your sacral. This stress is also going to be affecting your mind as well. And this is something that I wrote about inside of my book too. I believe that's in book 2 though, where I really got into it. I wanted to keep you kind of focused on specific things inside of book 1 and then start combining it all together inside of book 2. But inside of the complete book, you have it all inside of this. You don't have to stop, pause, and wait for you to get the other. information. But yeah, so ashwagandha and stress, reducing stress, because here's what's happening when you're dealing with that fibroid, basically with any type of illness or whatever. So your body's up under stress, and so that's where your parasympathetic nerve response starts to actually kick in, right? So your body is pretty much being flooded with cortisol, and so what ashwagandha actually does, and there's been studies on this, so you can definitely look this up. So what ashwagandha does, it helps to relieve or release that stress out of your body, okay? Because what you don't want to do is continue to hold any of that in, all right? Because that also, holding in energies like that also begins to transform, all right? And if you're not moving, if you're not movier, if you're pretty stagnant, that energy becomes stagnant as well, and that energy begins to transform into something else. Okay, so it's not something that's just going to be affecting your womb, your sacral area. That's something that will start to spread, and it starts to affect other organs that's inside of the area, maybe your kidneys also, and then on the emotional level, that would begin to affect your mind. So that's also mental disorders, okay? Again, I talk about that further inside of my book as well. But yeah, so ashwagandha, that's something that you definitely want to look into. I mentioned several other herbs that's inside of the video, so you might want to go and look at the video. It's inside of the playlist, my what is it called? My Fibroid Diary. Yeah, that's what it's called. All right, so it's about the herbs, and then inside of that playlist, you'll also see where I showed my my paperwork from my doctor's office and everything, and how my hemoglobins, my red blood cell count, my white blood cell count dipped as well too. So ashwagandha is really good for your white blood cell count as well. Okay, so and that's really great for fighting off bacteria, fighting off invaders. Okay, so look into that. Don't sleep on it. Okay, so that's that. So so let's get back on track with this. Okay, so now my number 3 is you need to be very specific. Okay, so you need to know what it is that you want to achieve, and you need to set some concrete and attainable and measurable goals. And setting one goal is actually better than doing none at all. So like for myself, I would say, okay, I'm going to meditate 3 times a day. That's very attainable for me. Okay, that's very attainable to do. All right, and then number 4, you want to start small. And then you have to make it doable and sustainable. So it has to be something that you know that you can actually stick with. I know that I can stick with doing 3 meditations a day. I'll wake up and do it. In the middle of my day, when I just want to do a woosah, I'm going to do it. Before I go to bed, and I want to calm myself down or whatever, I'm going to do it. Okay. Then number 5, you got to make it fun. You got to smile. You know, it has to be something that can at least bring a smile to your face. Okay. And so you want to not take it too seriously, and you definitely don't want to do anything that's going to be overwhelming to yourself, right? So you have to take tiny steps, and the tiny steps will be connected to your bigger picture. And you already know what your bigger picture is because you know what your goal of this thing is, okay? You know what the end result is that you want, that you're looking for, okay? And then you have to remember that creating synergy of goodness is always a very good thing, right? Okay, so you got to enjoy what you're going to be doing. And then number 6, you got to do what actually works so that you can stay motivated. Okay, so I find that being around other positive people and influences actually makes me stay more into whatever it is that I've decided to take part into. Okay, although I'm very self-motivated and always have been, I know that a lot of us aren't. So, and I've said this before in my motivation video, and also concentration for meditation and stuff like that. So those are in the food for thought playlist. I think that's what it's called. Food is more than what you eat. Okay, yeah. So it's very important who it is that you're going to have in your team, who you're going to have around you. Okay, who are the people that actually pump you up? Who is it that can help you to be consistent? Okay, especially if you're not very self-motivated and you just want to have somebody around you while you're going on this journey that you're going to be taking. You just want them on that with you. be very specific in regards to who you're going to have with you, right? It's very important. It's very important for your mentality. All right. It's very important for that. All right. So now, an important thing to remember is that motivation, it will come and it goes, but the discipline of it all, it lasts forever. So learning how to swim, right? The discipline of that lasts forever. Learning how to do martial arts, the discipline of that lasts forever. Learning how to do meditations, the discipline of that lasts forever, okay? And your hard work pays off, and resets can happen, and so you'll be going through these different levels, and that's okay, because it's all a part of the journey. So now to remember, once you start seeing and feeling the benefits of what you are trying to be more consistent with, like your regular workout schedules, doing your meditations, for example, you'll naturally feel more motivated to actually stay fit and stay with it all, right? All right, so that's how I'm going to end it, guys. And again, I will have the links inside of the description box for you, so you can get your volume 1, volume 2, and keep in mind, these are holistic health, guys. These are not storybooks, although I have a lot of my story inside of this. You know, I have a lot of my story inside of these books. This is volume 1. This is volume 2. And this one is the complete guide, so it encompasses the both of them. And then I am going to be including your workshops, your worksheets, along with your holistic health guides. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to beat a horse in the head any longer, so I'm going to say peace out, and I hope to be back on and do this soon. Peace out.